considering the content of the following video, I felt it best to actually announce that there are trigger warnings for this. Just in case. So that if you end up watching the video, any triggering, any consequences, any trauma is your own fault. Now, the trigger warning is Danny's shitty fucking art. If your eyes bleed, that is no longer my fault. Because the art is that bad, but you chose to look at it anyway. Have a nice day. Hello, and welcome to another episode of GamingLoad Stories with Danny. We have another Hellmoo story in store today, and this is The Adventure of Phage Labs. Now the story begins with me. I have a mutation called Hyperimmune. What the Hyperimmune does is give you extra endurance and also makes you immune to the majority of diseases in Hellmoo. Zombie rot bounces straight off you. Vampirism bounces straight off you. Black lung straight off you. There's no way you can get infected by these things anymore. So it's a pretty handy thing to have if you don't want to go vampire. Now, turns out Knight and Clocky were going to come along on this adventure, as well as Das. Now, of the three of them, only two of them actually wanted the mutation itself, and that would be Knight and Clocky. Skinner, I don't know why he wanted to come down with us. It was completely pointless for him to come along, because, you know, he wasn't going to get the mutation, but, it came along anyway, so it made a fun adventure. So we got down there, and one of the first things we noticed was we can't get through to the mutation because there's a biolock in the way. Now, I couldn't remember the entirety of how to do these things because it had been, 4 years since I'd done it. So I remembered there was an RFID tag that I needed to get through the biolock, and I had to do it by searching somewhere. So I ended up going off, had the three of them follow me, and I ended up going into a room and started scavenging in there, trying to find stuff. Found books, found other bits, I found diodes, I found quite a few things, and then finally I did end up finding the RFID tag a bit later. But while I was doing this, and while Knight and Clocky were actually helping me search for this tag, we had Skinner, who decided to go off on his own, and he found a robot. A drillroid. Now, this drillroid had, big motherfucking drills, not little ones. So it's like, Skinner, you probably don't want to attack that. But Skinner's all up on it, and he's like, I can do this. I can do this. So he ended up engaging the drillroid in battle. Now, what followed was the most epic anime battle style ever. Like, Skinner was dodging drill attacks, the bot was actually blocking his katana with its drills, and then eventually Skinner managed to run past it, anime style, slice it in half, and ended up on the other side of it, looking all cool and shit. Yeah, the bot just sort of like ripped in half after he slashed it, and Skinner won. Oh god, why? No, okay, I'm sorry. This bit was all in Skinner's imagination. What actually happened was, yes, it was kind of anime styled, but not in the way that you're thinking. This bot, in a reference to Tengen Toppa Gurren Lagann, had a drill that could pierce the heavens. Now, the thing it did pierce instead of the heavens was Skinner himself. He got one shot. It gets into combat with it, it revs up its drill, straight through him, he's dead. Fucking one shot. Good job, Skinner. So, Skinner dies outside the room. We get the message in, corp chat, our group, gang, guild, whatever you want to call it, and it says Skinner has been killed by a drillroid. And it's like, what? We didn't know he was out there at this point, fighting something. So we come out, and there's Skinner laid dead on the floor, and it's like, Skinner, you're a fucking retard. And obviously, Knight has a laugh, because Knight always does that. Because Skinner's a dumb shit. and we all know that. So, anyway, we ended up carrying on, getting to the biolock. Just as I was prepping to open the door with the RFID tag, we had a bit of a problem. Clocky got bit by a zombie down there. So, here's the problem. You get bit by a zombie, obviously you're going to turn yourself. So there's Clocky there. He's in combat with a zombie. He's going to die eventually if he doesn't get medical attention, because he's going to get zombie rot. Not only that, this zombie is actually starting to kick his ass. So Clocky is starting to die in the regular means as well, of HP going to 0. I ended up getting in between him and the zombie and finishing the zombie off, but it was a little too late for Clocky. His zombie rot had started progressing to the point he was about to die from it, and I didn't have any Mortal X hypos on me to cure it either. So Clocky was there, dying, and I'm like, Clocky, no! And we had this real tender moment there of Clocky just looking and being like, you two must go on without me. I won't make it. And it's like, oh, Clocky. Okay. And I kind of dropped him and, went off with Knight and left Clocky to die. Knight already managed to get ahead into the biolock. He ran into a problem though as well. A zombie. Now, here's the thing with Knight. He's a rifle user. And rifle users actually get shit on by zombies unless they're using a shotgun. Knight wasn't using a shotgun. So, he was starting to die to this zombie. But, thankfully, he didn't get infected. I managed to jump in between him and the zombie and started wailing on it. And it started wailing on me. Now, the only problem was I didn't have my good gear on at the time. So, the zombie was actually starting to fucking rip the shit out of me. It started to kill me as well. It was like, oh, crap. So, while I held it off, I tagged to the door, opened the door into the main secret area of the labs, which is where the Hyperimmune mutation is located. And it says, Knight, you gotta get through there, get that mutation. The only reason I'm down here is to get you and Clocky into that mutation. If I die, there's no problem. If you two die, that is a problem, because then our whole trip down here was worthless. So, ends up, Knight's like, serious face, okay. And he heads through the doorway into the extra part to go get the mutation. Now, I'm getting murdered by this zombie here, and all I hear is this, ah! Oh god, oh god, oh god, what's happening? Coming from the other end of the doors. And it's like, what's going on out there? I ended up managing to fight this zombie off, and barely managed to kill it, so I am there bloody dying out myself from blood loss. Don't have much HP left, but I've managed to drag my sorry, half-dead ass out into the corridors and found Knight, just meters away from the fucking mutation. Now, I say meters, but he's like literally the next tile over. I get into the tile and he's there, and all I can hear is, in TeamSpeak, is, I'm melting! And he's got his fucking face melting off. Bit vivid description of his skin dripping off his face and dripping onto the floor, and his bones becoming visible and shit, and he died right there, just about to get into the square with Hyperimmune. If he had lived long enough to get into that square, he'd have got it. But he died right there. And I just looked as I was bleeding out. Knight's body just dead and still dripping onto the floor. This trip was worthless. Well, fuck. And that was our time down at Phage Labs. this wasn't actually the first time the last time we'd been down there. Sorry, we did have another adventure down there that had a little bit more hilarious results as well. So that'll be in another video. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe. Check out the other story videos that I've got. It's only one so far, but check it out anyway. And I will see you next time. Ciao.